Hello Internet, it's Zeg and Zeg alone again, back to Factorio. I need to walk back to base, because we just got done walling off this nice large area. Plenty of copper and coal, not that much iron, relatively speaking. But more importantly, we've got this little oil patch. Only 273, so it's not great, but it's something. Do we need to go batteries? Maybe some more bullet damage. Okay, so what's the plan? The plan is I should set up some automated engine making, and then we can start running trains and start organising an actual base. And a separated lab probably as well. Okay. Everything over here is looking stationary, so that's good. So let's set up some kind of engine production. So what do engines need? Still the same as usual. Yep, steel iron pipe. I mean, steel gear wheel pipe. I need some iron. So let's do a sort of standard 2 factory setup. That gun's running a little low on ammo, for both these guns are. Right, so it's steel. Steel and then iron, 2 kinds of iron. And if we do a 2-to-1 split on the cogs, so let's not interfere with this. Let's go with... that was quite a lot of enemies actually. Let's double up these turrets. So what we should be looking at is something like put it into 2 boxes, I suppose. I mean, that'll work, I suppose. I should move it down slightly further, though. Gear in the middle, pipe on the outside. And we'll have steel going there, iron going here. Wrong kind of belt. And a couple of boxes. That's maybe a bit too many cogs, but never mind. They still take 10 seconds, so that's alright. Okay, that will get me some engines. Let's do maybe like 2 stacks in each box. There really is a fairly constant flow of enemies coming. I mean, my pollution cloud is getting a little big. That's another reason to move the base more probably up this end, because it will be in amongst all these trees, help absorb it rather than the desert, where it just washes directly over this alien base mainly. Fluid wagons. So we have to ask, are we gonna... Oh, I should also make solar panels, that's a good idea. Just start a little production zone for those as well. Steel circuits, copper. 15 circuits. So probably if we do something like oh, actually I can do it slightly smarter than that. Make it a full-on zigzag pattern. Have that be in the middle. Have this be on the outside. and these go here. That should be not that quick, but reasonable. And a box to put them in. Okay. Can't really keep up with just one inserter there, can I? Not without some stack bonus. But that looks like it's producing plenty enough circuits anyway. Let's do like 4 stacks of solar. Okay. So that's the plan. We're gonna basically move pretty much everything. Man, that is a lot of enemies for this early. It does seem like there's only one base down there, judging by how the pollution's getting absorbed, because you can normally tell where the bases are just by looking at where the pollution's disappearing. I don't see any obvious areas up here where the pollution is less dense. So how are we going to lay this out in general? And do we want to... We probably want to centralise the oil, because that one oil deposit isn't going to last long. So I'm thinking how I want to organise this in general. Typically I'd have like a centralised smelter, and then, well, sometimes a separate factory for making equipment. And by equipment I mean like assemblers and stuff, all the buildings, belts, and all the rest of that stuff. And we need a power plant, and we need a lab. So I'm thinking probably over here will be the main factory. Maybe run the train line in up the coast and then into a station. What sort of trains am I going to want? If we bring in ore into a main smelter, yeah, that probably makes sense. Just a big old triple smelting line up here, just running off an ore station. And then we'll probably have the railway go through about here, with maybe a junction up there, use this area for doing general equipment. I could build the oil base separately, we'll see about that, and then labs I'll probably put maybe up on this bit of coastline somewhere. Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, for now, time to go into sped up mode, get through some more time. Swoosh. Okay, and we're back. Or I'm back, rather. So you may have just watched me be an indecisive perfectionist for like half an hour. And I'm still not entirely convinced about this train station, but it should be good enough for now. So this is going to be my main input for all the different resources. It's going to be coal on the right, because then you can fuel the trains. And then the other three, copper, stone, and iron. Not uranium. Uranium will be a much later thing to worry about. So that's okay. And then we'll build the smelting lines up here. Someone's sending me messages on Steam. Yes. So it'll be all smelting, then we'll get into an actual sort of bus arrangement, and then some actual base. In the meantime, I'm rapidly running out of things to research without making blue science, so I'm going to need to start worrying about oil again. And the aliens don't seem to be attacking as much, probably because now that I'm running on 50% solar, it does look like they've probably expanded to here though, and maybe here, although that might be that little group of trees that's absorbing it. I don't quite have enough solar panels to be running purely on solar during the day, which I can probably fix because there's probably a huge pile of solar panels. Yep, 183. While I've been busy thinking about things, the base has been productive. And I was also interested to see that the research for mining productivity just gives the mining dribbles a default productivity bar. That wasn't exactly how I was expecting it to work. I guess it makes sense. Just using the same system as productivity modules do. Okay, we're just about on 100% solar now. Just a few more. I'm going to build them over this side. And that will halve my pollution output. At some point I'll probably, once I get accumulators up and running, I can make a proper power switch. But, you know, ideally at some point we're going to be running on nuclear power. Fancy new nuclear power. Alright, that should be enough solar panels for now. So, what is the next step in this base building setup? Well, do we want to move smelting over there immediately or save that for later? Because So I could run an exceptionally long belt back to this temporary base, or I could leave all of this here. And we also have to ask whether we want to build smelters that are coal-fired forever, or whether we want to leave space that theoretically upgrade to electric furnaces at some point. Can we see any more oil on the map since my daytime scanning has been going? Doesn't look like it. Okay. So we're probably looking at yeah, I guess we'll probably go with upgradable spacing on the furnaces. That probably makes sense. I've got a ton of space over there, so I can probably have the free lines set up. And then we have to also consider whether I'm just going to do steel in the same way that I'm doing it over here, where I've got alternating furnaces that transfer between, which is easier to run off the ore, but less productive for the same amount of space as running the iron back in. I'm sure if I arrange that correctly, it will probably be fine. And then we'll probably need to get some oil going. I'm thinking we'll probably do the oil stuff maybe around this sort of area on the other side of that railway, because we're going to have a junction probably about here-ish, going down this side and out and up. So I'm thinking probably an oil refinery around here, maybe directly below the railway, and then we can just run the plastic belt on a belt. We'll see about that. So yes, still quite a lot of work to do before this base becomes actually obsolete. Oh, there's the aliens. Still quite a lot of them. I should check the gun ammo. Yeah, they're running a bit low. Okay, that should keep them going for a good long while. What did I actually come over here for? Belts. Mainly belts. Okay, is there anything else that I want to research before we get into blue science? Well, stacking circuits uses advanced circuits, so that's not really going to be helpful. Laser turrets use batteries, of course. Modules are all advanced circuits, aren't they? modular armor recipe's been changed so it doesn't include blue circuits, which is nice. Makes it a bit more of a transitional upgrade. Because normally you just skip straight over modular armor. Oh yeah, I guess there's electric engines which leads into all the robots. Because we can get construction robots without blue science. Can't really make robots without advanced circuits and therefore blue science. Well, okay. I guess I'm done with research for a little while. Well, screw it, may as well do mine productivity free. And I think, considering I just recorded an hour of sped up footage, that will probably do for this video. So next time we'll probably finish up that train station, build an oil refinery, get some nice fluid tankers going, see how that whole system works, and then we can start work on the main actual proper final base next time. Oh, I have to do an outro. Put some social stuff on the screen. I still haven't looked at it, so I still don't remember the names of the Twitter and the Facebook. There's some variation of the Saladcast and Happy Salad, I'm sure. I do remember the website. It's happysalad.net for our podcasts. And that's it. More videos soon.